I guess I need to do more research on this feeder thing, but if somebody's putting it in that category and saying some things deserve to be kink shamed, I'm always leaning towards that person.
Yeah.
I do believe a lot of things deserve kink shaming, so I think I'll be on that side. However, though, and as much as I do agree that to save something and throw it in somebody's face as defense, not right.
It should have been saved for a different conversation.
It should have been saved for a different conversation. I don't think that she should have told her as soon as she found out.
I might be more so like, not the asshole, but like kind of like an everyone sucks here. Like it's just one of those stories where like the sister sucks for her treatment, you suck for not telling her right away.
Right.
Like blah 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 blah. Like everyone just kind of sucks here. And I will say there's probably going to be people like questioning this story. So there is one more comment I want to read before we move on. But it's essentially like, I'm real curious how this friend recognized a guy from a feeder site. I'm not sure I 100% buy that story. And so OP goes, I definitely agree. It's really strange. As is my friend. They do art commissions for fetish art, and feederism is one of them. Also, one of my friends is a feeder themselves. He never mentioned the site, but I think it was FetLife, but my sister met her boyfriend on Tinder. So there's a lot of details here. And you get to a point where it's like, okay, you have too many details, maybe it's lying, but like, these all seem like details that just like, I'm getting credible from this story. I think it's so plausible.
I think it would just be really fucking hard to make up. Like, why would you make it up? I don't know. I think it sounds true just because it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
But I also, on the one hand, I don't think it's that bizarre because I think the theme of a family that is deeply resentful of the person going a different direction and expressing it in ways that are like negging and kind of mean, but you can't really say anything because it's like, oh, it's family. That is a very common theme when it comes to drinking, when it comes to any sort of lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
In my family, my parents are really, really into, not necessarily fitness, but like they care more about their bodies than I do. I've always been a person who's like, I really couldn't care too much about being skinny. I'm like happy. I'll eat what I want. And it hasn't been a big concern for me. And my parents are both, like, they really try their best to stay fit, particularly my dad lately. So he will let things slip that I'm like, you're just resentful. I don't know what it is, but you're resentful that I didn't choose what you chose. And you that I don't have the outlook that you have. And and you're disguising it as like, I care about you. So he'll make comments like, oh, Tall, like, kitchen's closed. I want you to care about your body. And I'm like, no, you just want to shame me.
Kitchen's closed?
Kitchen's closed.
Screw you, Dad.
I'm 24 years old. Let me have my little nipple in the fridge. Like, fuck off.
I'm a snacker.
I'll come in there. It drives me nuts. My mom's gotten a lot better about it, but my dad is working on it. But that's just an example. Not to go off on a tangent, but to say, when you have a different outlook and lifestyle and somebody else in your family feels so differently and their lifestyle is so dependent on that, it can kind of feel like you're rejecting them when all you've done is reject their choices. You don't want their lifestyle, but you love them, but they feel rejected. Even my dad, I've chosen the less healthy thing. He's chosen the more healthy thing. Just because I don't want to like take a hike with him, take vitamins with him all day, he feels like rejected. And I'm like, you don't get to feel that way. We just like to live life differently. So he's just, I think that I kind of really, that's all to say, this does seem plausible because it is such a common thing to have the one person in the family getting all this heat for taking things down a different path, you know?
For sure. Okay, up next. Are you ready? This one's newer, not as vintage, 7 days ago, titled, Am I the Asshole for Kidnapping My Baby, Causing My Husband to Have a Panic Attack? I, 29 female, recently started working again after having my daughter, 4 months old. Daycare is too expensive, so my husband, 35 male, reluctantly agreed to stay home. It's important to know that he's been unemployed since 2021. He receives benefits. It's also important to know that he's extremely lazy. He doesn't cook, clean, or help out in any way. I was nervous about leaving her home with her father, but I had no choice. When I came back from work, she was clean and sleeping. The next few times I came home, he was either playing with her, feeding her, or out for a walk with her. I was happy. A few days ago, my neighbor told me that as soon as I leave, the baby cries, and she cries for hours. My neighbor said that she knocked on our door, and he finally answered it. He was sleeping. I concluded that he sleeps all day and night. Before I come home, he pretends to care for her. I decided to take the day off of work. I left home at my regular time, waited 30 minutes, and then went home. Sure enough, he was knocked out sleeping with his stupid noise-canceling headphones on. I went to my daughter's room, scooped her up, and took her to my friend's house. I waited about 2 hours, and I finally called him to tell him that I was coming home early. He called me back saying that he can't find the baby. He told me that he was going to call the police, but before he did, I told him what I did. He called me an asshole and a lot of other words too. When I got home, his mother was there, calming his nerves because he had a panic attack.
Okay, good. I wish he held his breath and died.
My husband decided
What do you
to sleep
mean?
at her house.
Fuck this
Family members
guy.
are telling me that I'm a terrible person. I know that it was extreme, but I don't know if I would consider myself an asshole.
My jaw's been on the floor since noise canceling headphones. I like the nerve to.
Your baby could have suddenly died, and he would have never known until you got home.
That he can act it out and act responsible.
That's psychotic.
Why did he want? Did he want a kid? Like what is the deal? We see this all the time. Dads who, I don't know why the fuck, sign up for fatherhood, want to spread their seed and build a family and have a lasting legacy on this earth through their children and
breeder fetish.
Breeder fetish, thank you. And have no desire, no motivation to raise those children and will do things that put them in danger.
This is a 4-month-old baby.
4 months old.
Screaming, crying in a crib all day.
Divorce. I don't even care. Divorce. I seriously, first of all, you could sue for child endangerment or whatever the fuck. Like, you could actually press charges. You're ignoring an infant with noise canceling headphones and an infant. It is prosecutable. Like, you actually can't do that.
Yeah, she's lucky that
I never make any room for the shoes.
CPS.
Thank you.
That baby could have been taken away.
Taken away.
Like that.
Well, she should be CPS. Protect the kid. Like, your kid is staying with a neglectful parent.
Yeah.
This person should not be taking care of a child. This person clearly didn't want a child. Let him go. Let him go. Like, I really, really, I can't. It's such a serious problem when women don't. First of all, the first clue was he doesn't do any sort of domestic housework, right? And people don't take this seriously. People don't take this seriously. If the man in your life, especially considering you go and you have a full-time job, it's not like you're a stay-at-home mother, but if the man in your life, regardless of what he contributes to the household, if he can't recognize your contributions, whatever they may be, your domestic contributions, the way that you upkeep the house and raise those children, it is a sign of a dangerous man. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, people don't
Never
take
give her
that
a nose.
seriously enough.
Forgot about that.
A person who can't appreciate you as a mother of his children and what you do is someone who will not protect you, someone who won't care when you are in danger or when you are in pain. You need to leave. Like, I think it's the earliest signs of abuse, and he's starting with your kid.
That is a really good point. Really good point. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this one, and I know listeners are going to be like screaming in their cars, at their TVs, whatever it is, because I have had a similar story with Tuffy, actually. And it was a story with this mom who would go to like gas stations and Subway, and when she was running into the store, she would leave her baby in the car unlocked. The dad discovered this, told her to stop. She didn't stop, and so he pulled up to Subway after seeing her car there again, took the baby out of the car and pretended to kidnap the baby. And during this story, I had a take of like, I think I went more passive because like I do recognize that sometimes when I have guests, like I give the guests the floor because like I'm on every episode. Like, it's more so, let's highlight your opinion. It's a one-off usually. I don't torture people multiple times, but I didn't speak up as much on that story because I also don't like embarrassing my guests. It's a problem. I'm working on it. But
it's your podcast, girl.
I know, but like,
say what you want.
I'm getting there. Okay. Like, I'm a little timid girl sometimes.
Okay.
But, so I still like didn't like the way he handled it. I thought it would have been better like to take the baby into the store and embarrass her in front of people and be like, "Hi, honey. Right. Like, look how easy it was for me to kidnap my kid out of the car.
Right.
I've asked you multiple times, hey, did you know my wife left a baby in the car? Isn't that terrible?" Like, I think sometimes public shame goes a lot further than private embarrassment.
Right.
And I think in that case, it would have been better than like having her freak out and call the cops, and then he drives up with the baby like he did. In this case, I fully think she's justified. I would 100% kidnap my baby. Like, He's falling asleep with noise-canceling headphones on. Do you know how easy it is for a baby to die from SIDS in a crib? Like,
I would have kidnapped the baby and ran and never came back. I don't care if he's wondering for the rest of his life.
No, and his mom came over to comfort him, and he had to go sleep at his mom's house because he's so distraught. Oh, look at yourself. Look at yourself. And I recognize he might be dealing with depression. It really sounds like he's got some mental health struggles, sleeping all day and night, can't, find job after 2 years of unemployment. Maybe there's a lack of motivation. Maybe there's some mental health stuff going on. But at the end of the day, you have a 4-month-old baby that you are responsible for. And if you are not capable of doing that, then you need to speak up and say that, hey, I'm unable to even take care of my fucking self right now. I am not safe to leave a 4-month-old baby home with.
Right.
That's all you gotta do.
The kid would, what if the kid had died? Like, I don't understand. It's not worth even talking about.
No.
And I don't understand how his mother doesn't understand that either.
She doesn't care.
I'm big when it comes to what if. So, you need to consider the what if. What if this situation had not gone? This kidnapping thing would not feel like such a big deal whatsoever. You need to. Big measures are needed when it comes to if the what if were the death of an infant. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what you did to make a point. He could have killed the kid. I don't care that you kidnapped him for a couple of hours. Get over it. Yeah. He is so lucky that she didn't take that kid.
2 hot takes.
That down. I think that's how mad I would be.
Yeah. And just, this is why, having a community around you, and, I think, the saying, it takes a village is still so true. Because looking at her and, what options she has going forward, how does she continue working if she does leave him? Because where's the help with the child support? Where is it now? It's not, and that's, she's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. It's this very, catch-22 situation, and I just hate seeing her in it, and this is why, I'm so passionate about so many things, but, universal, daycare, other countries do it, and it's, the bare minimum we should be providing for mothers, especially lower-income mothers that can't afford it. Quality childcare should be basic. It just, So, I'm really sad. I'm really sad with this one. Overall vote, not the asshole. People are pissed, and rightfully so. The top comment is, sleeping with noise-canceling headphones as the only adult in the home caring for a 4-month-old? Absolutely not the asshole. And OP actually responds and goes, yeah, I hate those things. He wears them all the time. Spent money we don't even have on them.
You need to start listening to little signs. Red flags are real. And it's not just little red flags oh, he leaves his stuff on the floor. It's he's buying noise-canceling headphones because he can't stand to listen to you or your baby.
He's checked out.
He's checked out. He doesn't have the capacity to care for you. And one day that will amount to violence in the form of neglect or whatever. Someone could die. Someone could get very hurt. Mm-hmm. You just can't stay with
No, I don't think so.
One of the comments does.
If you headcanon that she has a disability, then she has a disability.
Your neighbor told you
that wasn't intentional.
CPS because this is neglect and dangerous. Mm-hmm. I'd divorce my husband over this. Period. Lots of awards on this one. And the next one down goes, I'm not a fan of Reddit's frequent suggestions to divorce the dude. But in this case, I totally agree with it. He put your child in incredible danger. Mm-hmm. I don't think people realize, babies learn to usually roll themselves over. I believe child peds class, OT is a long time. But I believe it's around 6-ish months. And if this 4-month-old has the strength to roll themselves over, but not roll themselves back and suffocate themselves on the bed, it's so easy for a baby to die. They're these fragile little blobs. They're helpless. What is he doing?
Helpless, and her eyes are so helpless. And I realize 3 fundamental truths at the exact same time.
She's pregnant, really? Because she's in a cheerleader uniform with a 9-month bump bitch.
Yeah, clearly there's a lot going on there that we don't know about, but